Do anything funny? You just stick around?
Stuck around for the most part. I worked a little bit here and then obviously trained as much as I could. But yeah, it was a good one.
So what are your thoughts now that you're a week out from your first meet?
I'm feeling pretty good about going into the first one at least. We got a good week of training with everybody back in Eugene. I think everybody's not necessarily in great shape, but where everybody should be at this point in the season, which is kind of all you can ask. And then we're going to Dillinger. We obviously want to run well, but there's obviously not a ton of pressure there being the first meet, and just see how everybody's looking. Change some things in between that and pre-nats or Washington. But yeah, feeling good so far.
When you go into a season and you have a senior like Ed, and also you have strength behind him, does that elevate expectations for what you guys think you can do this year?
Yeah, I think this year especially, with it being Ed's last year, I think everybody's already kind of coming in with a little bit more of a serious attitude, and yeah, it's definitely, I think everybody wants to have a good a season to send Ed off, right? Because obviously he's done a ton for us, and to send him off with the last good season with a solid team behind him would be really cool.
What do you think about the break in the training for a meet? I was just talking to Andy about that, and he says, that's just the way the schedule kind of broke for you guys. But are you okay with that? You like the week of training, then a meet, then another week of training?
Yeah, it gets pretty. It's pretty common, I guess, especially when track. You race about every 2 weeks, and almost early in the season, it almost just becomes part of your training, and you just kind of get used to it. These earlier meets we kind of use a little bit more as a workout. Later in the season, obviously we focus on place and run faster, but right now, we might do maybe a K less, or one interval less than we normally would before a race, but it's pretty normal for us just to kind of train through all the races, use the races as workouts, and just keep going with the season. So yeah.
You mentioned you guys came in with more serious, obviously the team titles, the goal, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
Is there extra pressure that you guys put on yourselves because it's senior year and you don't want to send them out without a team title? I mean, is there concern about putting too much pressure on you guys?
Yeah, I think Andy does a pretty good job of kind of monitoring that, especially with like freshmen and younger guys that have the potential to produce, high finishes. But I think for the most part, Andy's pretty good at kind of keeping us calm, especially in the early meets when we might not do as well as we want to, but we're still in the right phase for doing well at nationals, which is always the ultimate goal. But yeah, I think he'll probably have to do a little more this year because everybody's rankings and everything are a little higher for us than we normally are, which usually shouldn't mean anything, but everybody kind of has that in the back of their mind.
Feeling it a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So we might need to focus on relaxing a little bit, but I think in the end that'll definitely help us at nationals to have that little more pressure, perform a little better.
With the high ranking, I mean, it's not just Ed that's the reason why you guys are ranked so high. I mean, what is it other than Ed that you think people are looking at this team and being like, oh, we really like that squad?
I think the main thing is returning, like 6 out of the top 7. That's always a huge thing because you bring back 6 guys that have, nationals experience, and that can, only help. Everybody knows, what a season of cross takes now. And, I think some of our freshmen last year were a little hit or miss sometimes. And I think that throughout the season, mentally it's easier if they're more consistent, for them especially. And then, I think with that experience, we can kind of help some of the freshmen out this year, and hopefully they can, crack the top 5 and help us out there. So yeah, that's the main thing. And I think also just the track seasons that a lot of guys had, is big. We got a few long seasons, like people running the trials and everything, but I think that only adds confidence to the guys coming back this year.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, appreciate
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
Good
a
luck
lot.
next week.
Yeah. Thank you.